Why not renounce your titles as Duke and Duchess?
And what difference would that make?
One of the criticisms that you've received is that, okay, fine, you want to move to California, you want to step back from the institutional role. Why be so public? Why reveal conversations you've had with your father or with your brother? You say you tried to do this privately.
And every single time I've tried to do it privately, there have been briefings and leakings and planting of stories against me and my wife. You know, the family motto is never complain, never explain, but it's just a motto. And it doesn't really hold.
There's a lot of complaining and a lot of explaining.
Endless.
Private being done through leaks.
Through leaks.
Prince Harry continues to claim he would never leak against his family.
So now, trying to speak a language that perhaps they understand, I will sit here and speak truth to you with the words that come out of my mouth, rather than using someone else, an unnamed source, to feed in lies or a narrative to a tabloid media that literally radicalizes its readers to then potentially cause harm to my family, my wife, my kids.
Prince Harry has just faced the ultimate royal reckoning. In what insiders are calling the most humiliating twist yet, formal discussions within the House of Lords have reportedly gained momentum to legally strip Harry of his remaining royal titles. The move, long whispered about behind palace curtains, now appears to be entering serious territory, one that could leave Harry with no official standing in the monarchy at all. And for the once beloved son of King Charles, the fallout has been deeply personal.
Prince Harry, the Duke of Sussex, has lost the later stage of his court battle over the level of security protection he receives in the UK. His taxpayer-funded protection was downgraded 5 years ago. The Duke says that as a result, it's too dangerous for him to bring his family to the UK, citing what he says is unjustified and inferior treatment. The 3 judges at the Court of Appeal rejected that today. They disagreed with his challenge, the 3 judges there, and they said that his appeal against the previous High Court decision would be turned down. This is what Sir Geoffrey Voss had.
Behind palace gates, it's no longer just gossip. After years of explosive interviews, royal tell-alls and a Netflix docuseries that dragged Buckingham Palace into global controversy, top peers and constitutional experts are urging a clean break. And this time, King Charles isn't shielding his youngest son. To make matters worse, recent correspondence from US law enforcement has already addressed Harry and Meghan as the former Duke and Duchess of Sussex. That wasn't a typo, it was a warning shot. A growing number of officials now believe it's time for the titles to go, both in the UK and abroad. Sources close to the situation say Harry is reeling. One insider even claimed the decision left him in tears.
I can't see a world in which I would be bringing my wife and children back to the UK at this point. And the things that they're going to miss is, well, everything. You know, I love my country. I always have done, despite what some people in that country have done. So, you know, I miss the UK. I miss parts of the UK. Of course I do. And I think that it's really quite sad that I won't be able to show, you know, my children my homeland.
Inside Buckingham Palace, the message is clear. Sentiment has run its course. According to senior sources, King Charles has quietly given his blessing to formal reviews of Harry's royal status. This isn't just about punishing his youngest son. It's about preserving the monarchy's credibility. With public trust waning and royal scandals piling up, the crown is now in damage control mode. What's changed? For one, the tone behind palace walls, where once there was hesitation to act. Out of love, tradition, or fear of backlash, there's now resolve. The king, weary from ongoing chemotherapy treatments and facing the future of the crown without Queen Elizabeth's unifying presence, has decided to act like a monarch, not just a father. And standing firmly behind him is Prince William. The Prince of Wales has reportedly played a key role in urging a decisive course. Royal observers say William is done playing peacekeeper. He's witnessed the fallout from Harry's memoir, the Oprah accusations, and the couple's continued criticism of the institution.
Harry needs to remember that he wrote a book, and he had a podcast, and he did an explosive interview with Oprah Winfrey, and I doubt he asked his family members at the time if this was okay. He did what he wanted to do, and it's like, this is a I think that regardless of how rich this family is, this is something we all need to remember when we're talking about our family. Listen, you have to have respect for them. And if you really do want to reconcile, you cannot go publicly and say whatever you want. And then when it suits you, go, can't we just bygones be bygones? Because if I'm a member of the family, even if I want to forgive you, the trust is gone.
The Lords are expected to reconvene in the coming weeks with growing cross-party support for a bill that would give Parliament the power to revoke peerages. If passed, Harry could become the first royal in modern history to lose his title by act of state. Until now, royal titles have mostly been a family affair, granted, withheld or stripped at the discretion of the monarch. But Harry's situation is no longer just about palace protocol. It's being dragged into the political arena, where the House of Lords is preparing to flex its constitutional muscle in a way rarely seen in modern monarchy. A growing group of Lords has signalled support for reviving legislation that would give Parliament the explicit authority to remove peerage titles in cases of dishonour or abandonment of duty. And while the bill isn't new, the timing of its return is no coincidence. Its biggest unofficial target? The Duke of Sussex. According to parliamentary insiders, several Lords believe that Harry's repeated public criticisms of the monarchy, combined with his abandonment of royal duties and relocation abroad, have created a constitutional contradiction. In their eyes, Harry wants the perks of royalty without its responsibilities. And that, they argue, undermines the entire point of a hereditary monarchy. One senior peer even hinted that the Sussex situation has become an embarrassment to the institution. If the bill proceeds, it would allow both houses to debate and vote on the removal of titles. That means Harry could become the first royal to have his dukedom debated in Parliament. An unprecedented humiliation that would strip him of any remaining royal privilege and reduce him, legally speaking, to a private citizen.
Harry is whipped. Do you know the expression whipped?
I'm familiar with the phrase.
I won't use the full expression. Meghan.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan. And I wasn't right from the beginning.
Same
I think
to
poor
you.
Harry is being led around by his nose. It'll end, and it'll end bad. He has been so disrespectful to the country, and I think he's an embarrassment.
Within the walls of Buckingham Palace, the atmosphere has reportedly shifted from strained tolerance to silent finality. For years, aides tried to maintain a fragile balance, allowing Prince Harry his freedom while hoping for reconciliation. But now, those hopes are gone. Senior courtiers believe the relationship is beyond repair, and King Charles is said to have made peace with one painful truth: his youngest son may never return. What's made this moment different is the tone, not angry, but cold. There's no more pleading, no olive branches, just a calculated push to close the chapter quietly and permanently. According to sources close to palace operations, a communications freeze is already in effect. No public messages on Archie and Lilibet's birthdays, no acknowledgements of Harry and Meghan's appearances. Even private phone calls have become rare, sometimes routed through intermediaries rather than direct lines. This isn't punishment, it's protocol. The monarchy is now operating under a philosophy of containment. Harry and Meghan are viewed as external figures, no longer part of the firm's public future, and unless something drastic changes, that status won't shift. What makes it sting even more for Harry is that the institution hasn't just shut him out emotionally, it's methodically erasing him from royal planning altogether. He's no longer listed in internal draft schedules. He isn't expected at future state functions, and the whispers within palace staff paint a chilling picture. In every practical sense, Harry is no longer considered a working royal. He's just Harry. While Harry struggles with the looming loss of his royal identity, Meghan Markle seems to be charting a very different course, one that's only deepening the divide. Her recent pivot towards solo ventures, including a lifestyle brand and rumoured book deal, has sent a clear signal to the monarchy. She's not coming back, and she's not looking for approval. Insiders say Meghan has quietly assembled a powerful team of publicists, stylists, and strategists in Los Angeles, all focused on rebranding her as a global lifestyle mogul, independent of the royal family. Her new venture, American Riviera Orchard, is reportedly targeting the same upscale wellness space dominated by brands like Goop, complete with jam jars, luxury kitchen goods, and aspirational content. And to many in the palace, it's seen not as harmless side work, but as a direct monetization of her former royal status. Behind the scenes, this hasn't gone unnoticed. Senior royal aides are said to be growing increasingly frustrated with what they see as Meghan trading on the crown while publicly rejecting everything it stands for. Her absence from King Charles's coronation was already controversial. The rollout of her brand so soon after only added fuel to the fire. And while Harry is reportedly pleading for a path back into the royal fold, Meghan's media moves are making that path even harder to find. In the eyes of the royal establishment, her independence isn't empowering. It's proof that the Sussexes no longer align with the values of the monarchy. Outside the palace, public sentiment is shifting, and not in the Sussexes' favour. In the early days of Megxit, Harry and Meghan had the sympathy of millions who saw them as victims of an outdated, rigid monarchy. But 5 years later, that narrative is collapsing under the weight of contradictions. Polls in the UK now show dwindling support for the couple. Among older Britons, frustration is growing over Harry's continued criticism of the institution he was born into, especially while still holding a royal title. Among younger audiences, there's confusion. If Harry and Meghan wanted out, why do they keep circling back through interviews, docu-series, and now a growing lifestyle empire that subtly leans on their royal past? This contradiction hasn't gone unnoticed. Commentators, even those once sympathetic, have begun calling out the inconsistency. On social media, phrases like, "they want the crown, without the crown's work," have trended multiple times. Satirical shows have mocked the couple's ever-growing media footprint, while tabloid headlines alternate between ridicule and outrage. And in political circles, the mood is turning pragmatic. Lawmakers who once avoided royal affairs are now speaking openly about accountability and reform. For them, this isn't just a family issue, it's a question of national relevance. If the monarchy is to survive modern scrutiny, it must uphold consistency. And that means cutting loose those who refuse to play by the rules. Harry's emotional appeals may still resonate with some, but with public and political patience wearing thin, sentiment is no longer enough to shield him. If Harry loses the Duke of Sussex title, it's more than a name change, it's a full royal disconnect. He'd no longer be His Royal Highness, and any remaining diplomatic perks, like special security abroad, could disappear with it. The House of Lords is revisiting an older bill that would give Parliament the power to strip titles from royals who no longer serve the crown. While originally aimed at traitors, Harry's case, public criticism, media deals, and his move to the US has reignited interest. For Meghan and their children, the fallout could be financial as well as symbolic. Much of their brand is built on royal ties. If the titles go, that connection weakens. Publicly, Harry has said he doesn't care about royal labels, but behind the scenes, insiders suggest he's devastated. Losing the title would cut off the last thread tying him to the monarchy and the life he once had. It's over. King Charles, backed by Prince William, has drawn the line. No more waiting, no more compromises. The royal family is closing the door on Harry, and this time it's locked. For William, this isn't about revenge, it's about stability. The next generation of royals needs clarity, not chaos. And Harry's half-in, half-out status no longer fits. If Parliament moves forward, Harry may keep his bloodline, but the titles, the perks, the place in the system, gone. The monarchy isn't looking back. And now, Harry has to live with what he gave up. Thanks for watching. If you found this update as shocking as we did, hit the like button and subscribe for more breaking royal news. What do you think? Should Harry lose his titles? Drop your thoughts in the comments below.